what harmful content they may be seeing. Your children may be viewing elements of violent content, sexual content, graphic content, scary imagery.
Okay, so last night, I was watching this thing called the Mandela Catalogues. And I guess like to kind of like, I mean, we're watching it a little bit right now to touch base on what's going on. As I'm like even like reviewing things and looking at them. It looks like these are considered ARGs, which are analog. What is it? Analog horror.
Yeah.
Analog horror. So it says, what makes the series scary is it uses familiarity and uncanniness. It uses odd, slightly manipulated photographs of real locations to create a sense of familiarity in that way, which is kind of crazy because that's psychosis, right?
Yeah.
So showing like the bedrooms, a house, something that like, I mean, like even while we're looking at this, there's like certain parts. I remember being in high school and going to like, let's go to the abandoned place. Remember that shit when we were like young
for
and
sure.
Gilroy and stuff like that?
Yeah,
and like when we'd go to like abandoned places and you get like this sense of just, maybe you're already, feeling it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember you even kind of were talking about, when I mentioned this, I mentioned this to Swan last night, maybe like 11 p.m. at night or something. You were already fucking in a weird position where you're sitting down, scared.
Yeah.
Not scared, but you're
No, because you sent me this crazy dark video, this obscure video when I came home to my house, which is in the middle of nowhere. And, I was there alone. So watching this, it happens to be the night where my roommate's gone. And so I'm about to, like, basically dream about this or have a nightmare about this very situation.
Exactly.
Or what could happen.
Exactly. So the person who created these series called the Mandela Catalogues, his name is Alex Kirster. And Alex Kirster is an American YouTuber who is known for being the creator of the web series Mandela Catalogue. He joined YouTube on June 10th, 2021, and is currently residing in the United States. These videos were put out the same year. They have millions of plays already.
Yeah.
Like at least 2 million plays per video, right? Now, all I can take from it so far is, yes, a series of imagery, more, how would you describe it? It's like it
just reminds me of like weird, like nostalgic, because a lot of this stuff on here says like year 1992 and stuff like that.
Right.
Which is actually ties into what's trending right now. It's called the Backrooms. If you haven't heard of it yet, it's online.
Explain a little bit
basically the building we're inside, this office building, it has like the whatever, these LEDs, these kind of yellow, dirty lights, and then on top of this like really industry style carpet. It's like the same idea where it's like empty spaces, like where it inhabits your mind of like nostalgia mixed with suspense, mixed with just like, absurdity.
That's really good. Can you like elaborate?
No, and I think this is like playing off that, or I don't know which came first, but it definitely has to do with what's trending right now. Except this is just like more based in like houses and like maybe more domestic territory rather than industrial obscurity of infinite, liminal spaces.
So like yeah, as we're watching it right there, September 14th, 1992.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? And so the thing is,
this is the knocking.
The knocking. So this is something this is where it kind of gets a little like interesting, I think. Okay, so let me like pull up some information that I have right here, right?
Well, dude, before you bring it up, I think it's because the fact that it's analog, it's kind of fuzzy, kind of distorted. I think that kind of stuff in our minds gives us more like of a scare factor, because it's so like, dude, if things were so crystal clear in HD and full def, then it'd be like, oh my god, like I know exactly what's going on. My mind pretty much knows that this is like detail for detail what I'm seeing. Whether when it's slightly obscure, it's kind of like that gives the edge of mystery to it.
Yes.
Because you're like, oh man, like it's kind of fuzzy, so I'm not really sure what it is, which I think, evokes kind of like even more dread, dude. For example.
More dread. And that was something that they were talking about is, okay, so the Mandela Catalogue is an analog horror web series. We mentioned that created by Alex Kirster.
Yeah.
The series takes place in an alternate Earth overrun by the alternates, shape-shifting demons that kill and take on the form of humans. Now, the thing is that I think that's interesting about that is, and I mentioned this to you, the idea of your doppelganger. Yeah. And like that idea where it's like, if you ever see someone who looks exactly like you, run away. Because the whole idea of this series is kind of like, it's trying to take you down a route of understanding that these effects lead towards, I guess, suicide, you killing yourself, because it's a psychosis of what happens. I will say this much. And this is getting like, we're getting really obscure in the sense of like, everyone, you guys got to check this out, because even for myself and Swan, we're not here saying to you that we know too much about this other than this just popped into our mind last night. So we're figuring it'd be kind of cool for everyone to check out. But one thing that I was looking at last night that was coming up a lot was this idea that, have you ever at nighttime when you're a little kid, or even as an adult, right? Yeah. Been in your room by yourself, lights are off, and you feel as if someone's there. Like just that feeling, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or something's in the closet, under the bed, something's breathing next to you or in the door. And have you ever, dude, do you remember being a kid and ever freezing? And just like you're like, I'm not gonna move for like.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like beyond that obscurity of everything, I think that could be part of survival. You know what I mean? Right. Like, because maybe it's in our system. Obviously, I'm not like a physical anthropologist or anything or something like that. But I think like we're designed to like be fight or flight mode. And our mind will have to invent it in order to judge the situation. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And so something like that. For example, like you don't know what's behind it, but your brain has to be ready to, I don't know, build the image in your head of what it is. You know, your best guess in order to do the right necessary action. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's true. Because you sit there.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And then speaking about doppelgangers, whatever, doppelganger. I don't know. Have you ever seen somebody that looks like you? Like exactly like you?
No, and that was something else that tripped me out, because I was telling you, remember the other day, that whenever someone does look exactly like you, you're not the one who catches it. It's always like a friend. Or someone says, Swan, you know, the other day I saw this guy, oh my God, he looks exactly like you. Yeah. Maybe you get a picture shown of someone that looks like you. But how many times have you ever ran into someone who looked exactly like you? Like straight up ran into them and you're like, oh my God.
There's only been 1 or 2 times where I see somebody, I'm like, okay, he does look like me. And I know right off the bat. Most cases, no, because usually people are like, oh my God, I was at the market the other day. Yeah, I saw somebody who looked just like you. And then like, I'm like, okay. But I always get compared to like, sometimes I get compared to actors. Like
I think that's a common one, yeah, because it's like you create resemblance from it. Okay. But like, have you ever like literally been on the street, right? And like, you saw
that's me.
No. Have you seen someone, and you're like, oh my God, that's.
It's
weird. It's almost like you literally think that that's something. You're like, oh, art, and you're like, wait a minute, that's not.
Yeah. No, there's this one time I was in San Francisco, and there's this one biker guy who looked exactly like some guy I went to school with in high school. But not only that. He was so
like to the T, right?
He was so idiosyncratic that even the way he talked was like the same. I was like, "Fuck you, you're freaking hell," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
yeah. So I suggest everyone to check this out online, like especially do it at nighttime. Like I'm a little crazy, so I like to do this stuff like right before I go to bed. Yeah, and see what ends up happening. And we're watching it right now, and it's just playing in the background as we're just talking about this. But I wanted to say. There's volumes to it, okay? So you want to check out Volume 1, Volume 2, and then Volume 333. We're looking at Volume 333, which follows Thatcher Davis and Ruth Weaver, 2 newly promoted officers from the Mandela County Police Department. Yeah. Thatcher spearheads the investigation and analyzes of evidence gathered from the room of Mark Heathcliff back in Volume 1. Soon after, David and Weaver respond to an anonymous distress call made by one Judy Murray, a fresh divorced, hiding from an invader in the house, an alternate. Now, if you like, okay, one thing I did, I deep dived a little further on like Reddit and like these on some forums, and I guess there is this idea that of the shapeshifters, alternate people, that they come into your place of like, I guess you call it sanctuary or whatever, and they get you just to trip out, you know what I mean, and possibly like kill yourself or like. Just
so do you really believe in this? Like, do you like, is this just like you think like a conspiracy theory, or do you think this is perfectly possible, or do you think only certain people can believe it? For example, like ghosts. Some people have the ability to see ghosts or sense ghosts, whereas like maybe the majority of the population can't tell. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I can't see ghosts, but maybe kids see ghosts. Nice
reference. Well, the thing about when we're younger too, right? It was more. I'm not saying we saw ghosts when we were younger, but this idea of our imagination ran so much deeper into reality as well, right? Like things that I was fearful of when I was a child, I'm not fearful of them at all now.
Yeah.
But they felt so real when you were young, like so real. I mean, have you had
because no one explained it to you, like, oh, this is the wind or this is like thunder.
Yeah.
That's like anybody who was woo-woo in the past, like any.
But also think about Sixth Sense.
Yeah, I'm sure there's maybe I think there's an exception. Like maybe some people can tap into some other like realm or something.
Or maybe like in a way, it is always there, but
we just like wean it or something.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know.
Well, maybe it's useful though, because maybe if we don't believe in it, then we'll like just say it's something else, and that'll save us the anxiety of thinking.
Look at this right here. So this is the two people talking.
Yeah.
Yes. For everyone who's not,
I don't know. I can't tell.
For everyone who's not who can't hear this and see this right now, we'll put it up online for you guys, all linked, so you can check it out.
Stairs in the corner. He's just standing there. My wife is certain what to do. Wow, does not resemble. Oh my God! So he's trying to see it like. I've never seen anyone in my life. This looks anything like him. Is it trying to say that it's him? That it's on his own reflection?
It could, maybe.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm tripped when I see this, mainly because I'm trying to like put the pieces together, you know, but ultimately this is a fictional story. But I know there's, just like any fictional writer and everything like that, there's like some
truth to it.
Like because you have to grab the idea from something that's like, because usually things that have truth to it, they'll be deeper, right?
Yeah.
They're like more history to it and everything.
Yeah.
So I just like, you know, we're sitting here in this fucking room, like just talking about
this obscure like composition of like cognitive like unchronological events that are paced together.
They're paced together, yeah, exactly.
Still a composition. I mean, it's still there's a sense of truth to it. I mean, when it's composed, but like, I don't know.
I mean,
for me, I think like compared to all the other scary things that can happen in life, I think this taps into the like really mysterious place.
Like the really but
then
the
like
crazy,
I don't know what's more scary. Like you know that you have like some kind of disease like syphilis or something compared to like what's scarier, syphilis or this? You know?
Yeah, and
like I don't know.
And the thing is with some of this stuff, I did some other investigating too.
Yeah.
And there are cases of like of small children. Like think about these cases where. Because what I'm about to say, you're like, oh, I've heard something like this before. But, you know, abduction of small children.
Yeah.
No trace of anything, you know, left over. So fast, so quick, you know what I mean? Gone, you know?
Yeah.
And if you look it up, there was this case in Nebraska where the woman was listening to her baby cry. Right? And then the crying stopped, so she went upstairs, opened the door. The baby's gone. Window shut. Windows locked. Door was closed. How? And then the police deem it as no evidence can be shown to the public, right?
Yeah.
Case is obviously already out towards public
knowledge.
Public knowledge. But there's nothing given else to it. It's almost like the same thing with like think about anything that either the law, government, you know, they're trying to cover up, right?
Yeah.
So it just makes me think it's like there's obviously stories of honestly it just gets a little, it takes you out of your realm for a second and lets you just be a little thought provoked with the idea of the unexplained.
Yeah.
How do you like, you know what I mean?
Unexplained mysteries.
Yeah, exactly. Like you know what I mean?
Show.
Be able to solve one of tonight's unsolved mysteries.
Unsolved mysteries, you know?
Or like unsolved mysteries is like, you know, like about like modern society.
Basically, what we're telling all of you. I mean, you should probably like green screen this in the back of us while we're doing this. Yeah. But basically, what we're just getting at is, hey, everyone out there, you need to take some time away from your original petty little lives, and just expand your mind in some weird esoteric shit and just understand that the absurdity of things that happen out there.
You know what's weird that I was thinking about this morning? When I think Gons was showing me like that one game. I've seen it before. It's called like Sad Satan.
Yeah.
I was just thinking like, okay, people who play this kind of game, but then you think of like Kim Kardashian or something. It's like, how far is this removed from someone's life like that? Like, think about the classes of people. Like, okay, there's Kim Kardashian. The most. I thought that was the door here. This is from the video though. I was thinking like, think about the life of Kim Kardashian, where it's just kind of like the level of like life is just so far removed. I doubt anyone in her circle is gonna show her Sad Satan.
Yeah.
Or even this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like this realm is like either for like young, from what I'm seeing is like young kids on the internet, like Gen Z kids on the internet, or random mofos that are just like curious. But it's just so far, I think, from like mainstream though.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, dude, why is this so untapped by the mainstream? Like, why are these things? It's just like, why do people end up looking at stuff like this? Is the bigger question. Like,
yeah.
Why do people like we? Are we in just the other category? Are we just curious, or is this just like a trend that just is just popular? You know, I'm talking about the content in general.
Yeah. I think the curiosity for sure, right? 100%. And then I would say just I'm trying to touch on the fact that too. Yeah, like when things become a little more popular, like underground. How though? You know what I mean? Like what's like affected? All I can say is as long as there's mystery and depth to it, it surfaces always somehow. Whether it's like...
So Kim K would see this in what scenario?
I feel like she would see this in a scenario where someone...
where Kanye just like...
Exactly,
he's like, yo, check this out.
Yeah.
That's probably why they separated in the end.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this guy's too weird.
Yeah.
Or like, because when someone like that, they're kind of thinking like when they get presented this kind of stuff, what would they label it as? Oh, this is just spooky. Because it is spooky, but it's almost like there's a veneer of like detail that they don't even see completely.
Yeah, because they're not asking I feel like it comes down to the really dumb idea of why. Why is this happening?
Why even make this?
Why
are people making this content?
Yeah. Which makes you wonder.
I think it's just,
how come a lot of people don't question they're not. And the thing is, like what you're saying, we're not questioning the content. We're just asking why.
Yeah, I think it's kind of nostalgia porn, because dude, everything in here is familiar, and it's obviously like it's resonating us than some random horror movie.
Yeah.
Because maybe this is maybe what we're missing is like there's different aspects of nostalgia. There's like vaporwave nostalgia.
There it is, right there. The industrial closed off.
That the outside looks like some CCTV, but CCTV even inside the house.
Now here's the thing though that is interesting.
You do realize you just got promoted, right? You don't have to work on this bullshit case anymore.
Listen,
we can relate to because we went to church as kids.
Now here's the thing that's interesting. Think about this. Have you ever thought to yourself like, but why is this creepy?
Because it's familiar, but it's dark.
But
at the same time.
but I'm saying, but why? But what has instinctively made us feel that this is creepy? Like because I look at this, right? It's creepy, right?
Yeah.
But think about it, as such a child, it was creepy. But why? What instinctively makes you think these things? Like why, as a child, when you were young and you had to go get a drink of water, you didn't want to go down the hallway if it was all dark?
Because the boogeyman was there.
Which is my point towards like not a point, but like what provoked me so much with this is like the idea of like.
And dude, this is straight up. This is the same kind of stuff that happens in the Backrooms.
Yeah.
Dude, this is the same idea, but just instead of in the Backrooms, this is just in your house.
Dude, I'm already getting chills a little bit from watching it.
Really?
I really am a little bit. But like in the sense of like.
This is so Backrooms style.
The alt like.
This
is it possible?
Backrooms,
is it possible to? Is it possible now? Waves the question of, now what about aliens and alternates and shapeshifters? Are they real? You know, they just did a whole Netflix series. I barely watched it, but did you see? I don't know if you saw, but
I don't watch Netflix, so I don't know.
On Netflix, they had what is it called? Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, really?
The native, so. Do you know about Skinwalker Ranch?
No.
Okay, so Skinwalker Ranch. I'm gonna stop this real quick. Okay.
Go ahead.
Skinwalker Ranch is. Well, let me just bring it up for the audience so they can know if anyone doesn't know. But Skinwalker Ranch is on native land.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
it's where you can it's one area where supposedly shapeshifters live. Mm-hmm. Because the natives curse the land.
What?
Yeah. Skinwalker Ranch, also known as Sherman Ranch, is a property of approximately 512 acres located southwest of Ballard, Utah, and that is reputed to be the site of paranormal and UFO-related activities. Its name is taken from the Skinwalker of Navajo legend concerning Virgil shamans. So the Skinwalker can shapeshift and everything. Now, there's a whole investigation on that land because there'll be things like a cow, right? Killed. But no cuts or anything. And then they do and this is like real, and then they do the autopsy, all the organs gone.
Oh, I think I've heard something
from the inside and stuff.
Just like so clean.
So clean. So it makes someone...
So are you saying like the shamans are related to the aliens, or they have some weird agreement, some weird deal?
Well, I'm saying like...
shamans just straight up are cool with the aliens. Maybe they do enough like, ayahuasca just to like meet the aliens. Or,
Maybe,
Or
right?
5-MeO DMT to where they're like, oh yeah, just like they've created a channel, the freaking Silk Road from from the sky, or I don't even, maybe they're not even in the sky, maybe they're in another dimension. They cross the paths and now they shake hands. All right, I'll give you my guts of my cow in exchange for, I don't know, something else. But that's fun. It's so crazy.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. It's just the manuscript for this business they have going.
Yeah, no, exactly. God, yeah, right? That's actually
That'd
really
be pretty
good.
lit, actually. Like, there was just an exchange between, like a man and an alien, and just, like, keep it so under wraps. It's, like, even more under wraps than the Illuminati or something.
Yeah,
it's just, like, so, like, underground.
What makes you think, and that makes me think, things that were taken so seriously back in the day.
Yeah.
You know that idea where it's like, okay, we have the technology, times have changed, right? But I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but it's almost like in reflection to the past. Well, they were at the top of their tech back in the past. We're at the top of our tech right now, right?
Yeah.
So also in a weird way, I have a hard time differentiating between like, oh, but that was long ago and people back then were fearful of this and this and that. Yeah, but it's like, dude, but it's a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
So in a weird way, it's like, how do you even compare like the camera, right, to the shaman experience? It's like, I guess you could say like, oh, well, this is tech and that's like belief, right?
Yeah.
But in a weird way, because they're so different from each other, aren't they one and the same too, of just like ideology?
Yeah.
Right? So it makes me think about that, where maybe there is some crazy truth to the shapeshifters, the alternates, the skinwalkers. Maybe it lies in none of those names, but...
Have you ever met any of those kind of people in your life, do you think?
Like a shaman?
Like anybody who would be somewhat related to this kind of esoteric groups, I guess. Like, who do you think
besides
you've ever
like just
come
a friend?
Like, who do you think you'd come across that'd be like, dude, he's potentially like from like, that realm, like of being like a doppelganger shapeshifter or something like that?
I don't know. I can't really think of anyone outside of just what I see on the internet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, what sucks too is like, I will say this much. I mean, I've had friends that have traveled to native like land.
Yeah.
And spent the night there and said like, yeah, it's fucking weird.
I think I want to go do something like that, man. Like, is it life-threatening or is it just like weird?
No, I don't know. But like, I'll say this much: like, Gonzo told me that in the Mojave, in the Mojave Desert.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm fucking this up. He's gonna kill me for this. It's in.
Some desert place or what?
Yeah. I'm not sure if I think it's in Utah.
All right.
But basically, some story about there's like the gnomes that live there, and they come out at night in like this place that's like these caverns that are filled with nothing but granite.
What do you mean by gnomes? Like gnomes from the
like,
Snow White, or
no, like gnomes like from like
Sleeping
the
Beauty,
DMT world and everything.
How do they look? Do they look like little trolls, or how?
I don't know anything about anything
like
about
just little
looks.
people. Like
yeah, they're magical, you know what I mean, stuff like that. But also like with magic comes tricks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tricky trick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit like so Supposedly, the one thing we should do an episode and go down someplace like that. But the one thing I will say is whether it's a friend or something we look online, everyone kind of says the same thing. It's weird. It feels weird. The energy gets weird. Now, maybe reality abuser will be the first ones to actually tell you like, okay, yes, we went down there, bullshit. Or we'll be like, fuck, I don't know. Is it just because our minds have been implemented with an idea, or did we really, like, yeah, that was fucking weird. Some weird stuff happened.
Like weird as in like what? Like a visual experience, the aura? Is it
like everything?
What do people say?
Like, well, people say everything
In
for.
concrete.
Well, some people have like concretely said like they've seen like shapeshifters down there, where it's like, where basically, okay, I saw this story one time where this guy talked about like this entity turned towards me, just red eyes.
Yeah.
And let out a screech so loud and ear piercing that I had never ever heard anything like this in my life. A lot of times it's a shape of something and the sound of something.
Or like groggling.
Dude, like beyond that. Like, I guess, like, because it's like where people say it's like, I've never heard this sound before. Like where it's
like
never
it's
hit this. It's like, never hit this frequency. You know what I mean? Earth shattering, basically. Basically, what I've seen is people like, yeah, they explain it in a way where it shattered my paradigm.
Is this place hard to get to?
Yes, we need 4x4.
Like, is it just deep in?
It's deep out there, and it's like in area. Like I know the place that Gons tells me about is an area where it's like, it's the number one place in the country that people get lost.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and never return.
Okay, that's sketch. That's kind of sus.
Yeah. But it's like,
I'd be more down if it was like, all right, more like a little more convenient. So it's kind of like where I.
But it's the thing is, any of the places that are gonna be the real shit are not gonna be convenient to get to. You're gonna have
Why
to.
is it always like that?
Sacred land, and also I have this persona, or I have this idea or this thought that the work of anything esoteric or magical or out of this world,
occult,
is not done in the eyes of all.
Yeah, because they'd get like what, like.
Because I think like some sort of divinity has to be in the area, and you have to have like a balance. I feel with nature and
away from 5G networks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude, stuff like that. So like and I really can't say like that's a great question to ask, but that would be my take.
Here's the thing: it's like, do you think these people are using technology? Like, do you think these like occult people are like they're so like traditionally like old-fashioned or whatever you want to call it? That
I mean, the
that's the kind of thing.
The thing that I saw on Netflix, like they have these like.
It just makes it humorous. Like, for example, when like weird stuff like this happens, all this like weird, like occult stuff, it's like, but when technology comes into play, it's so funny because it's like, dude, like the whole humor is like, oh yeah, but I have a freaking iPhone, It just makes everything so humorous all of a sudden because it's like you think of like tribal like tools and like everything so archaic and everything. Like it's just like you think that, but then as soon as there's technology involved, it's like they're funny because that makes them more human already. It just makes it so more humanistic. Mm-hmm. Like it's like, oh yeah, like I have to take this. I'm texting. Even on any social media platform, it just makes it almost a joke. Like anything, in my opinion, because like anything that's like super like radical, it's even funnier the idea.
Did you see that thing when like a year ago or two where like they were showing the how the Navy fleet saw like, oh, look at that unidentified flying object. I think that was circling around all the media for a while. Yeah. I see kind of what you're saying because it makes me think like, also once technology involves, it's like now it becomes okay in a way. Because think about this, I'm not sure. Did you pay attention to like YouTube or the news a year ago, 2 years ago, just recently, how there's way more talk about even from government officials, people saying UFO. You know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. And I feel you in that way where it's like, because it's being quoted through these officials' technology and stuff, it's almost like it's prepping you, getting you ready for the idea of, well, if they are real, I guess we're already ready for it because we've been told that.
Here's my argument, though. Even if all this stuff is real, It's like, how does it actually affect our lives? Unless it's actually affecting our lives directly, I think that it's fun to entertain the idea. But really, if all this stuff's real, like, you still have to pay bills. So it's like almost like people are into this. I think it's just because they have free time, or they're just genuinely curious, which is totally fine.
No, I think people are into it because they want it to be real.
Oh, okay.
You know.
So it is real. Then what are they going to take advantage? Oh, can you help me pay my bills?
Not so much that, but like think about how much it. Like mentally, dude, like think about everything that you believe in or want to believe in. If it turns out to be true, you're like, I knew it. I feel good, right? So I think it's just an inherent feeling that humans have where it's like, think about, especially with like entities, extraterrestrials, how long has that been pumped into your head? You know what I mean? So at some point, it's like the divine, like, or it's like the higher, thing. It's like the same as religion and all that stuff. You want to believe that it's true.
So say if you believe in this, do you think you'd like continue on the path with this? Say like, okay, aliens are real. Okay, I'm gonna go find aliens and work with them. Or is it like, dude, what if you find that? So you want to just the next thing? Is it just a hunger for just the obscure? You're like, okay,
I think
verified. On to the next one, because I feel like conspiracy.
I think because think about like if aliens came here, right?
Yeah.
And they were we're chilling just like you guys, right? There'd be a slight little like, there'd be a little divulge of just like, what I mean? Whoa, for a second, and then you just get on with it, right?
Yeah, you get the boner goes away. And then then you get another boner for anything else. So
unless it was like Independence Day.
Yeah.
Where it was like,
oh damn, I gotta prepare.
Yeah, and it was like, so anything else, like, I just think like we just as humans, we want like just with everything, we just want so bad to believe. We want so badly
almost
to believe.
Like I think that'd be cool. The only reason why I would love for like these kinds of things to be real is to give me a hope of like, all right, we can hack our ways out of society. It could help society in general. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, and dude, I think that's great you said, because I think a lot of people, that's ultimately what they're thinking too. You know what I mean? If this is true, what other possibilities?
Yeah, God, my life sucks, but maybe if this stuff's real, maybe there's a sliver of hope for other things. That are only in my mind.
Exactly.
Like, how I'm going to get like more money or something like that. Oh, in my mind it's some obscure idea, but maybe if this other obscure stuff is actually real, maybe that like verifies a lot of my other hopes and dreams, aspirations. Legitimizes them.
Again, we're here abusing the reality.
Yeah.
Letting you guys all know. Yeah, I'd love to see what, if any of you guys have anything, like comment down below. Let us know what you're feeling. We will link you to these videos. We'll link the audience to these videos so you guys can like have a good time and everything.
Not even a good time, just like
we hope
you get scared and tripped out.
Yeah.
And like try to think about these things, because it makes the world more interesting the lesser we know about it, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a
it's like the lesser we know, but the more we investigate, makes it beautiful.
Yeah, that's the idea of like, oh wow, like there's beauty to the mysteriousness, So I think that's why people like go into mystic territory.
Yes.
Like us.
Yes.
But that's just us. Let us know what you think.